Have you ever trusted someone only to realize they weren't who you thought they were? It's devastating, isn't it? A friend, a partner, or even a colleague, betrayal feels like a dagger straight to the heart. But here's the truth. People always reveal who they truly are if you know what to look for. In this video, I'll show you the key ways to uncover someone's true character, signs that most people overlook until it's too late. Pay attention, because what I'm about to share could save you from heartbreak, deception, and regret. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Support this journey of uncovering the truth about life and relationships. Let's get into it. 1. How they treat people with no power. Imagine this. You're sitting at a restaurant, enjoying your meal, and you notice how your friend or partner interacts with the waiter. Do they say please and thank you, or do they snap their fingers, bark orders, and act like they're superior? This single moment can reveal more about their true character than hours of conversation. Here's the truth. How someone treats people who hold no power over them, the ones society often overlooks, like waiters, janitors, cashiers, or even beggars on the street, shows you who they really are at their core. Think about it. It's easy to be polite to your boss or charming to someone you want something from. But when there's nothing to gain, when there's no reward, that's when a person's true nature slips through the cracks. Pay attention to this, because rudeness to the powerless isn't just bad manners. It's a red flag for arrogance and entitlement. It means they see themselves as better, more deserving, or more important than others. It's not just disrespect, it's a window into a selfish, self-serving mindset. If someone can be cruel to someone who can't fight back, what do you think they'll do when you're vulnerable or in need? And don't be fooled by selective kindness. People who switch between being kind and rude depending on who they're talking to are wearing a mask. Their kindness isn't genuine. It's a performance designed to impress the people they want something from. This behavior reveals a lack of empathy and integrity. It's a sign that their actions are driven by self-interest, not true compassion. So, the next time you're with someone, observe. Do they thank the janitor cleaning the floor or ignore them like they don't exist? Do they show respect to the delivery person who's been working long hours in harsh weather? Or do they act like it's their right to be served? These small moments are like a magnifying glass. They show the details that people try to hide. Here's why this matters. A person who is dismissive, rude, or even cruel to those with no power will eventually turn that behavior toward you. It's only a matter of time. You might think, but they're kind to me now. And maybe they are. But relationships aren't about how someone treats you when everything is easy. They're about how they treat you when you can't give them what they want, or when things go wrong. Never ignore these warning signs. The way someone treats others is a reflection of their values, their heart, and ultimately, their ability to be a trustworthy, kind, and loyal person. Remember, true character isn't about how someone acts when they're under the spotlight. It's about how they act when no one's watching and when the other person has nothing to offer them. So next time you're out with someone, don't just listen to their words, watch their actions. It could save you from placing your trust in someone who doesn't deserve it. 2. How they act under pressure. Life isn't always smooth sailing. It's easy to smile, be polite, and keep it together when everything is going right. When the bills are paid, relationships are thriving, and the sun is shining. But here's the hard truth. You don't truly know someone until they're under pressure. Think about it. What happens when life throws chaos their way? A missed deadline, a financial crisis, an argument, or even something as simple as getting stuck in traffic. Do they keep their cool and look for solutions, or do they lash out, crumble, or shift the blame onto everyone else? Pressure doesn't just build character, it reveals it. Here's why this is so important. When someone is under stress, their mask comes off. The version of themselves they want you to see disappears, and what's underneath rises to the surface. Are they patient and composed, or do they let anger, frustration, and selfishness take over? Do they face the problem head-on with courage, or do they start pointing fingers, playing the victim, and making excuses? Let me take this a step further. How someone reacts under pressure isn't just about that one moment. It's a glimpse into how they'll behave when life inevitably gets tough, because it will. Relationships, whether romantic or platonic, don't exist in a bubble of constant ease. Storms will come, conflicts will arise, and the person standing beside you will either weather the storm with you or make it worse. Here's an extreme scenario. Imagine you're in a life-altering crisis. Maybe you've lost a job, a loved one, or even just hope. Do you think the person you're relying on will be your rock, staying calm and supportive? Or will they add fuel to the fire, lashing out at you, spiraling into chaos, or worse, abandoning you altogether? Their actions during small stresses today are a preview of their behavior in bigger challenges tomorrow. And let's be honest, some people thrive in calm but crumble when the pressure's on. These are the people who will yell at you over minor inconveniences, blame you for their mistakes, or completely check out when things get hard. If they can't handle a little tension without turning it into a full-blown disaster, how will they handle real adversity? On the flip side, the people who stay calm, focused, and solution-driven under pressure are the ones you can count on. These are the people who don't panic when the unexpected happens. Instead, they adapt, assess, and figure out the next step. They don't point fingers, they step up. They don't crumble, they rise. So here's my challenge for you. Observe the people in your life during moments of stress, even the small ones. Are they thoughtful and composed, or do they let their emotions take over and make things worse? Remember, anyone can fake composure when life is easy. But true character shines or crumbles when the heat is on. Don't just listen to what people say about themselves. Watch what they do when the pressure is on, because that version of them, the one under stress, that's the real them. And that's the version you'll be dealing with in life's toughest moments. 3. Their integrity when no one is watching. Character isn't defined by the image someone projects in public. It's revealed by what they do when no one's watching. Think about it. When there are no eyes on them, no applause, and no fear of judgment, do they still do what's right? Or do they cut corners, lie, cheat, and betray their values because they think they can get away with it? This is where the true test of integrity lies. Public behavior is easy to manipulate. It's tailored to win approval, admiration, or respect. But private behavior, that's where the real truth lives. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine someone who preaches honesty, fairness, and loyalty in front of others, but when left alone, they lie to gain an advantage, cheat to get ahead, or betray a trust without a second thought. That's not just a flaw, it's a ticking time bomb. Now, let's make this even more extreme. Imagine trusting someone who presents themselves as your rock, a partner, a best friend, a colleague, and finding out later they've been lying behind your back. Maybe they're stealing credit for your work, hiding something significant from you, or cutting corners in ways that could hurt you. The betrayal doesn't come out of nowhere. It starts in private, in those moments when they think no one will ever know. Integrity isn't just about what someone does when the world is watching. It's about the choices they make when no one will ever find out. Are they the kind of person who turns in extra money the cashier gave them by mistake, even when it would be easy to keep it? Or do they justify their dishonesty with excuses like, "It's no big deal," or "No one will ever know"? Here's why this matters so much. Someone without integrity can't be trusted. They may seem loyal, honest, or kind on the surface, But when the chips are down and the opportunity presents itself, they'll put their self-interest above everything else. These are the people who will betray you when it's convenient for them, and they'll do it without hesitation because their private self doesn't align with their public facade. And let's not forget, this isn't just about the big betrayals. The small, seemingly insignificant decisions matter too. A person who lies about little things, cheats on the small stuff, or hides minor truths is showing you a pattern. Those small cracks in their integrity will eventually lead to bigger ones. Now think about the opposite kind of person, someone who remains steadfast in their values, even when no one is watching. These are the people who stay honest, even when a lie could save them from trouble. The ones who do the right thing, even when it's inconvenient, time-consuming, or uncomfortable. This is true integrity, and it's rare. So how do you spot integrity in someone? Pay attention to their small actions. Do they follow through on their promises, no matter how minor? Do they show consistency between their words and their actions? And most importantly, do they do the right thing even when no one will ever know? Never underestimate the importance of integrity. It's the foundation of trust, and without it, any relationship, be it a friendship, partnership, or even a business connection, is destined to collapse. The person who cuts corners in private today could betray you tomorrow. Remember this: who someone is when no one is watching is who they really are. If you can't trust that version of them, you can't trust them at all. 4. Their ability to apologize. Pride. It's one of the most dangerous traits a person can have, and here's why. It blinds people. It convinces them they're always right, even when they know deep down they're wrong. Pride destroys relationships, families, and trust, because some people would rather cling to their ego than admit they've made a mistake. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever dealt with someone who refuses to apologize, no matter how much they've hurt you? They'll twist the story, blame you, or act like nothing ever happened, just to avoid those 3 simple words. I am sorry. It's infuriating, isn't it? But here's the truth. A person's ability or inability to apologize reveals everything you need to know about their character. Let's break it down. Mistakes are inevitable. Everyone screws up. It's part of being human. But what separates people with strong character from those you should avoid is how they handle those mistakes. Do they face their wrongdoing head-on, admit fault, and work to make things right? Or do they double down, deflect responsibility, and try to gaslight you into thinking you're the problem? Here's where it gets extreme. Imagine being in a relationship or friendship with someone who never apologizes. Over time, their refusal to take accountability eats away at your trust. You start to question yourself. Am I overreacting? Am I being too sensitive? And that's exactly what they want. A person who won't apologize will make you feel like you're the one who's always wrong, even when you're not. This is more than just pride, it's manipulation. And let's be clear, a fake apology is just as bad as no apology at all. You've probably heard them before. I'm sorry you feel that way. Or I'm sorry, but I had no choice. These aren't apologies, they're excuses disguised as remorse. A genuine apology doesn't shift blame or minimize the hurt. It's direct, heartfelt, and backed by action. Now let's look at the other side. When someone apologizes sincerely, it's a powerful thing. It shows humility, self-awareness, and a willingness to grow. A real apology acknowledges the hurt caused, takes full responsibility, and focuses on making amends. It's not just words, it's action. And it takes courage, because admitting you're wrong isn't easy. But here's the key. A sincere apology doesn't just heal the person who was wronged. It reveals the strength of the person who gave it. It takes a big person to put aside their pride, confront their mistakes, and say, I was wrong, I'm sorry. It shows they value the relationship more than their ego, and that's the kind of person you can trust and build with. So, how do you spot someone's character through their apologies? Pay attention to their pattern. Do they ever say they're sorry? And when they do, is it genuine or is it filled with excuses? Do they take steps to make things right, or do they repeat the same behavior over and over again? A real apology comes with change. Without change, it's just empty words. Let me leave you with this. A refusal to apologize is more than just stubbornness. It's a red flag. It signals a lack of accountability, empathy, and maturity. And if someone can't own up to their mistakes, they'll eventually place the burden of those mistakes on you. Remember, relationships aren't about perfection, they're about growth. And growth requires humility. A person's ability to apologize reveals their character, their values, and their capacity to build meaningful, lasting connections. Don't ignore this. If they can't say, "I'm sorry," they'll never truly respect you. 5. What they prioritize. Have you ever stopped to really think about what drives someone? What fuels their decisions, shapes their actions, and defines how they live their life? If you want to see someone's true character, pay close attention to what they prioritize. Because what a person values most, what they spend their time, energy, and effort on, tells you everything you need to know about who they are. Let's be honest, it's easy to say the right things. People love to talk about how much they value relationships, honesty, and personal growth. But words are cheap. Actions? They never lie. What someone prioritizes in their daily life is a direct reflection of their character. Are they chasing money, power, and appearances at all costs? Or do they put their time into building meaningful relationships, staying true to their values, and growing as a person? Let me take this to the extreme. Imagine someone who claims to value family and relationships above everything else. They talk about love, trust, and loyalty, but when you look closer, their actions tell a different story. They're always too busy chasing the next promotion, the next status symbol, or the next big paycheck to spend quality time with their loved ones. They claim they're doing it for the family, but in reality, their true priority is their own ego. Now, there's nothing wrong with ambition. Ambition can be a great thing when it's paired with the right intentions. But when someone consistently sacrifices their relationships, integrity, and health just to climb the ladder or maintain an image, you have to ask yourself, what does this person really value? If it's power and appearances, where do you think you'll fit in their life when you're no longer convenient or useful? And here's another thing to watch for. When someone says one thing but does another, that's a glaring red flag. If they preach about honesty but are constantly caught in lies, or if they claim to value personal growth but refuse to take accountability for their actions, they're showing you their true priorities. People's actions always align with what matters most to them, whether they admit it or not. On the flip side, people with strong character prioritize what truly matters. They invest time in their relationships, even when it's inconvenient. They stay honest, even when lying would make life easier. They focus on personal growth, even when it means facing uncomfortable truths about themselves. These people live in alignment with their values, and that's what makes them trustworthy. Take a moment to reflect on the people in your life. What do their priorities tell you about who they are? Are they constantly striving for external validation, or do they find fulfillment in things that truly matter, like love, kindness, and personal growth? Do they put effort into maintaining their friendships, or do they only show up when it's convenient for them? But let me make this even more personal. What do you prioritize? Because the truth is, your priorities will determine the type of people you attract and the relationships you build. If you value authenticity and integrity, you'll naturally distance yourself from those who are superficial and self-serving. Here's the bottom line. True character is reflected in what someone values most. If they prioritize appearances, power, or money above all else, don't be surprised when their actions reflect selfishness and greed. But if they prioritize relationships, honesty, and growth, they're showing you they're someone worth keeping close. So, pay attention. Watch what they choose when faced with tough decisions. Do they prioritize what's right or what's easy? What they value in their life will eventually define how they treat you. And if their priorities don't align with their words, don't fool yourself into thinking they're someone they're not. Because actions always reveal the truth, even when words try to hide it. So, now you know, the truth is always in the details. To see someone's true character, observe these signs closely. Remember, actions speak louder than words, and the patterns you notice will save you from pain in the long run. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more content that cuts straight to the truth. Together, let's build lives based on wisdom and authenticity. Thanks for watching.